All right, my beloved. I don't want you ignorant. We're getting into stuff that can kind of be. There's a lot of conjecture on, right? There's a lot of opinions on it. But all those people aren't telling you how to use those things. See, sigils, let's get off the cart for a second. They were designed to solve problems, right? Solutions. They're tools, right? I told you like an engine, right? Your first 100 or so sigils should be radiated. They should have a radial symmetry or a symmetry across some line, right? They should have some kind of symmetry to them. Just listen. You're into 2 minutes or more making this thing. Too hard to be your first guns, right? You need your intuition working on you. Your intuition's not gonna. Sometimes it'll throw some big ones at you, and then you got to buck it back and be like, "Hey, listen, that's too hard." And then it'll tell you something, or like get the essence of it, or it needs these features, or you can ask it what's the prominent features it needs to have, how to create it. It was even trying to teach me how to create a 9-point molette. I gave up. I was like, I'm not ready for that. It's not witchcraft if you print it. It's not witchcraft if it's in a book that ran under a printing press. The content might be, because it's a concept. We're talking about a body material of content, but not itself, right? Because let's talk about craft. Who makes it? A human, right? A human has to make this thing. I'm going to repeat it for you. A human has to make the sigil. Using sigils you didn't make, then they're not your sigils, right? Your intuition has to hit you on it. Let's talk it like it solves problems. So like if you don't get access to something in your mind, we're talking about a mental energy. When you start getting into them, it's going to start rolling mental energy into you. You're going to have connections in your mind that you didn't put together before. The basis of it is it's powered and honored by the planets. The source is the planets and stars, the stuff above us. Yes, there are earth spirits. We're talking expressly for sigils, specifically necromantic sigils. And almost all sigils are going to be necromantic, and I'll tell you why. We're not getting access to live things. We're getting access to live mental energy that never leaves, right? Okay? That's why they're talking like the light is a format for, it is a form of life, right? The light itself, especially from the sun, it has a personality. That's why they personified the sun. They personified the moon. All the things have light, have a life form and an energy, a persona, a personality, an intelligence, an energy. And depending what your sigil does, you get access to the intelligence, the energy, or the spirit, right? The persona. One of those three things. The intelligence, obviously, for creating things, right? The persona is you can add it to your personality. It becomes part of your personality traits, right? Features, spiritual features. Let's talk about a physical container with spiritual features. Spiritual features, personality, the ability to capacitate and understand things, and also the intuition to create sigils. Because sigils are not just, I draw, I like art. If you're just drawing, you're involved with art. If you were initiated, right, by somebody, right, somebody actually has to be a practitioner, and you're going to know that you got initiated because you're going to get a sigil. Or you're going to have your intuition kick off because that person has to have a sigil on them for you to get it. Or your intuition picks on it when you do something. Let's talk about a ritual, right? Let's talk about witchcraft, right? Let's talk about rebellion. What is it? It's a rebellion. Rebelling against what nature puts out. Because what's put here is not what nature puts here. The celestial powers put that mind power here, and we take the natural things and we form them into things, right? Even jewelry, down to the mechanics of a circuit board, how the wire traces ought to be. It all comes from that necromantic information. See, that which was here before, guys. What they're saying is we look at history in a lens, and it's like 6,000 years we've got a grasp on. There's actually zeros. Some of that time was actually further away than they're saying. Especially, the Bible's got it all fucked up, guys. Time, they lied about when those things happen. It's a narrative. History is a narrative. They don't know when those things happen. They find stuff and they're like, oh, that probably happened during this time. Oh, it probably happened. This conjecture. There's no evidence that it happened when, who was there, the ingredients in the minds of the time. Let me tell you, the necromancer is going to tell you that the things that are gone are not gone. We get access to them. And the way to get access to them, preliminary, is sigil work, right? Your first way to get his access is sigils, right? You have to have it flash in your intuition. Have to have something in your mind other than your basic who you are telling you something. While you're doing something, you'll hear a voice like it's, oh, no, we want it. I want it more like this. Or I said, I need it radiated from the center with more rounded edges. You know, stuff like that. It'll point you a direction, right? So, knowing that, you want to make a wheel train, a page that has the sigils run across them, right? Because you're making an engine, right? All those things are access to energies, right? Some are energies, some are spirit, some are personality, some are intelligence, right? And that's what they were talking about. And realistically, it's a narrative that you ought not have these things. Well, all the things here come from those things, because there was a time where humanity, over and over, got set to default settings. What then? No books, no writing, no form, no language. How did it kick off? How do we keep from eating ourselves alive? There was something, guys. That's what we're talking about. That craft thing, that God mind, that infinite capacity and infinite mental potential, we can access to it. There's not a stop on it. But you have to give honor to the things that give it, right? You don't necessarily have to worship Saturn or Jupiter, but you have to give honor to them, because that's where those things come from. The entire microcosm here works because of those two things. The outer limit being Saturn, and Jupiter being the thing that is the battery for this existence here on this planet. And for the rest of the microcosm. You know, for Mercury, for Venus, for Mars, that everything inside the asteroid belt is predicated upon the rulership and stewardship of Jupiter and Saturn. It's where all your religion, mysticism comes from, Saturn and Jupiter. It doesn't come from anywhere else. Those are the intelligences that rule in this time. So the chief things, industry, religion, authority, military, government, all Saturn. It's all Saturn worship. That's why you're always going to find a deity. There's always going to be a deity, a theology associated with it. And we're going to come away from that. We're going to go back to the way it was, where craft and intelligence, celestial intelligence, rules this place, and it always has, because that's where the mind power comes from. So, another dissertation on that. Maybe you can apply it to yourself, right? If the sigil doesn't do anything, if you look at it and it kind of messes with your head, that's an indication that that's something you should write down, right? If it flashes in your eye and you see it spin a little, you see it start to turn and torque, you're getting whatever that's giving you, and it's the malefic version of it. If you just see it pop, like it flash bulbs in your eyes, and you see the sharp negative imprint of it, that's yours. You can put that down. But typically, when that happens, you'll see it turn, and it'll probably show your sigil. If you have a sigil on it, it'll pull it up, and they'll turn. They'll start to, and you'll feel nauseous and weird. You'll feel a little hot and like something's turning. When it turns, it's gonna feel like something's turning in you, like this, like to the right. Really fucking weird. That's how you know you got. If it turned for you, you got. If you got by me, you're mine, right? Because I get given people. That's what happens in Necromancer. I get access to intelligence. Period. Have a great rest of your day.